Okay. So just thought it would be good to get the team together, whoever can come. And I know some of you might have been on the leadership call just before this. And it was an interesting call. As most of you know, we've been going through some chaos. Oh, like quick hello to Anita. Hi, Anita. Just popped on. Anyway, we had an IT upgrade, and the purpose of this upgrade is because we are going international, as you guys know. We're heading into Hong Kong and Singapore. That whole issue has already started. We're already having coaches on the ground out there, and they really needed to make our IT system top notch to go international with the growth that Optavia is going through. And unfortunately, as often happens with an IT upgrade, there are glitches. And so that's what's been going on. A lot of it has been fixed already. The company is working round the clock to continue the fixes. Right now, most of it has been fixed, but the phone lines are still very long waits as they're trying to catch up with all of the things that went on during the glitch. So, it could be very frustrating. We're all going through this. I would just say that if you have any issues of things, the company will make it good. If it's a problem that you need to email them, you can email fieldfirst@optavia.com with any details of any situations with a client. If you have any questions, personally, you just reach out to your business mentor. But I just want to say, honestly, if I were a new coach and was going through this, I'd probably wouldn't feel the same way as I feel right now, having been with the company for 8 years, almost 8 years. This company has character and integrity, and this, although it's really frustrating, and if you're a new coach, you would think, what kind of company is this? How do you do business this way? This is not normally how we do business, and it will be fixed, and it will be something that we look back on. And a lot of what they talked about on the leadership call is, part of what we've learned in our habits of transformational leadership is kind of how to take things in stride and play above the line. So, one of the transformational leadership habits is that we seek growth and we embrace obstacles as the way. And this is an obstacle. It's totally an obstacle. It's like it's not good, but we can focus on that, or we can grow through it. And when we learn to stay calm in the face of obstacles or chaotic things, when we can learn to stay calm and stay above the line and de-escalate a situation with somebody, we're growing. We're growing as people, we're growing as leaders. So, I just want to reassure you guys that this, it is getting better. The lines are still on hold for a long time, but it's definitely less than it was last week. And, I would just say, if you have a specific problem that you can't take care of, speak to me, speak to your mentor, but just hang in there for it, and know that, we do know that it's been chaotic, but I know it's going to be better in the long run, and this will be behind us. So does anyone want to say anything about that?
Janet, I just would offer that on the leadership call, at least one of the leadership couples said that they were in Disney while Disney was having an IT launch with massive problems. And in a former life, I've been through this multiple times with a monstrous multinational corporation. And I would just encourage people, you do grow through it, take a really deep breath, and ultimately it's a tempest in a teapot. It will be a vague memory months from now. We'll get through it, and do what you can for your clients. Volunteer to call in yourself if they feel like they're at the end of their rope. I know I did it a few times and I could multitask while I was on hold. So make the most of it, and it'll just be a memory in a short time.
Yeah.
And the company's doing great the way they're all over it. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one call that I had to take care of for a client, and the person on the line at Optavia said, I'm going to throw in 3 extra boxes for your client just for the troubles. So they really are trying, to make good, and they will make good. So if that helps. All right. So I wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to introduce Anita because Anita, well, we can't see your eyes. Come down a little bit. Anita's another a new coach from New Jersey. So I just wanted to introduce her. Anita, there's actually.
Hey everyone.
Hi, Anita.
Nobody else is new?
No, not Claire's fairly.
Fairly.
But just Claire's really kind of just hitting some momentum this month with 3 new clients. So she's from New Jersey and Karen's from Connecticut. Maybe we'll do some more quick introductions. We have Connecticut, New Jersey, Florida, California on the line here now.
Nice.
Yeah. So Anita's brand new. So, let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about consistency and, how when you talk to people and you share, when you talk to somebody about health or you share your own story or you have a conversation about health, maybe you share Optavia and that person is not ready and they don't come on board. Just keep up relationships because I'm sure each of us can now share a story on how somebody who we've spoken to, weeks, months, sometimes even years ago, have continued to watch us on Facebook or continue to watch us and look at us as a health inspiration, who have reached out to us and said, so tell me about your program again. So you don't want to get discouraged when you share. And when you do share or have a conversation with somebody or say, I can help. And they say, well, what do you mean you can help? And you can say, well, that's what I do. I'm a health coach and I help people lose weight and get healthy. And you might have more of a conversation after that, or you might not, but don't be afraid to share and don't be connected to the answer. Don't be, don't be connected to whether they do it or not. Don't be disappointed on whether they decide to come on board or not, because that's not what we're about. We're about sharing and caring, and they may be interested at that moment. They may not, but if you forget about them and don't talk to them again because they weren't interested, they're going to feel like you were only interested in them because you wanted to sell them a program. But if you stay in relationship and you stay inspirational, over time, many people will reach out to you when the time is right. So does anybody want to speak to that?
Well, I could speak to it in terms of my real estate career. It's the same thing. You spend a lot of time sitting with people, talking to them, consulting with them, and you never know if it's going to turn into, them selling a property or buying, but you nurture the relationship, and then sometimes it's 9 months later, a year later, and suddenly you hear from them and, they want to work with you. So.
And you're staying in relationship with them, which is the key.
Yeah. You just, whether it's, email, Facebook, checking in.
Yep, absolutely. And so that's why our newsletters are so great. I just had somebody this week reach out to me. So she had been with another coach who didn't renew, so that coach's clients rolled up to me. I don't know who it is, but I add those people to my newsletter. So she's reached out and said, I've been getting your newsletter for a long, long time. And I did this program years ago. And I'd like to talk and I'd like to get back on program. So had I not been using those newsletters, so you can put all your contacts on a newsletter. You don't need to put just your own clients. Put every time you meet somebody, see if you can add them to your newsletter. And those newsletters are free to us. They're free. And people who aren't even on program enjoy them because there's always a lean and green recipe. There's always a before and after story. I love that it tells you, what the topic is for the Habits of Health call for Wednesday night. So I always try to send it out on Monday or Tuesday. So make use of that resource. Does anybody else get anybody reaching out from the newsletter?
Yeah, people do like the newsletter a lot. I get that comment a lot from people, and I got really good response when I just put up on Facebook one day. I have a healthy newsletter that I send out every week. If you want to be on there, let me know. And I got a lot of people saying, yes, please, yes, please.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and as to what you were talking about before about not being attached to the outcome, that's something that I've gotten better with, gotten better at over time, but still, like I was sharing on the call last night with Nora that, I've been at a certain level, just hitting my goal each month. And so there's sort of developed this sort of level of anxiety, like am I, towards that. And that's And I found myself becoming a little bit more attached to the outcome. So I have, had to actually tell myself today when I was going to talk to somebody that I'm just exploring it and seeing if it's a good fit. It's okay. It's not I don't have to get anybody or convince, definitely don't want to convince anybody. So it's a process, but yeah, no, it's really good to remember that. It does take a tremendous amount of pressure off when you can remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that when you're talking to somebody, they can feel if you seem desperate for them to become a client. They feel sharing and caring differently than they feel selling and telling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when we talk to somebody and we offer, hey, if you'd like to talk, let's have a health assessment. Let me find out about your health goals. Let's see if this program's a good fit for you. That doesn't feel like you're going to sell something, right? And so then when you talk to them, you're not selling the program. You're saying, so tell me a little bit about yourself. What are some of your health struggles? How has that worked for you before? What are you looking to accomplish? All the questions that we ask in a health assessment. And when you listen and when you repeat back and you say, so what I understand is that you're feeling frustrated because X, Y, and Z, and what you'd really love is blah, blah, blah. When you repeat back their story and say, did I get that right? You feel this, they feel so heard, right? They feel like, yeah, that is what I mean. And there's no better feeling than feeling like you were heard. And then you can say, and what else? Is there more? And then they can tell you more. And then you can repeat back that. Did I get it right? You did. Well, this program really might help you with those things because blah, 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 right? Such a different way than getting on a phone with someone and saying, well, let me tell you about this program. It's really great. I lost 12 pounds. It was so easy. I really liked it. I ate this oatmeal and it was really good and it was so easy. And you could do it too because I did it. And I was so, you see, that's like all about me, right? Not about you. It's about them and what we can offer to them. How does this fit with what they want? It's a different ball game. And if they're not ready, can I put you on my newsletter? Can we stay in touch? I'll tell you what. How about you start working on the water for now? Start drinking 64 ounces of water a day. Let's see how that goes. Let's talk about that next week. They don't have to go in the program right away, right? If they're not ready. Next week, how you doing? Have you been drinking the water? Wow, that's great. What a great habit you've created. That's awesome. You ready to do more? You know what I'm saying? So you still want to give. You still want to stay in relationship. This is not, we're not here to sell a diet. Anybody want to speak to that?
Well, the 3 new clients that I got, 2 out of the 3 of them were very shocked that they didn't have to take pills. It was like a random question. What pills do I have to take? And I said, no, it's all about the food. It's not about pills or medication or whatever. So they were just very elated about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the fat burn thing, I always just want to bring up how, like, we'll go just back to when somebody says, like, well, how is this different from Jenny Craig? How is this different from Nutrisystem? We are a comprehensive program that helps people create habits of health. We have 4 components. I don't really want to, you all know this, right? But in terms of the eating plan, there's a lot out there right now about the keto diet. And our program, our eating plan, our structured eating plan, you do go into a mild ketosis, and you can use that word that way. Like, it's a very mild ketosis. This is a carbohydrate of 85 to 100 grams. It does help your metabolism to shift, to start breaking down fat for energy, which is really great because then you don't feel a lot of hunger or a lot of cravings, and you're losing toxic body fat and not muscle. It's a sort of a simple explanation, but I think like ketosis is such a buzzword these days. And, I'm not going to say we're a keto diet because we're not. We do have 85 to 100 grams of carb, but it's okay to say it's a very mild ketosis, right? Because, that actually might be an attraction to people since it's such a buzzword.
I mean,
yeah, I do that all the time, actually.
Mhm.
It's keto-like, though, isn't it?
I mean, it
Well-
is technically, right?
Yeah, but it's not like what I always say, it's not a ketosis like a keto diet where you have 10 or 15 or 20 grams of carb.
Right.
We have 85 to 100 grams of carb, but
Okay.
it's not enough carb. So
Right.
it does put your body into a mild ketosis. It might not even show up if they did a strip.
Mhm.
Yeah. I always
So
tell people, you can tell me what you think of this, Jen. I always say, so people that you hear doing keto, there's a lot of different ways to do keto, but they're probably having 20 or 30 grams of carbohydrate a day. That's probably coming from a salad. And on our program, it's 80 to 100. So it's a lot. It's much milder. It's much less extreme than what those people are doing. That's what I usually tell people. And then I tell them, that the nice thing is you feel really good. And I usually share, I did Atkins years ago and, didn't particularly like it. I lasted about 3 weeks, did lose weight. And then I went back to eating the old way and gained all the way back. And so I usually share that as well. And that, this is more about creating new habits.
I find that people really actually like to hear the difference between a keto plan and our plan because they all know keto, but they don't really know what it is. They just know that the world is out there doing it and they haven't heard of Optavia before. So I always tell people, I don't tell them they're going into ketosis. I tell them that they're going into a really mild fat burn. And being in a really mild fat burn is using fat as your fuel source, similar but different than keto, just like Karen said that. And I tell them the difference in the carbs and they're all relieved that they get to have so many more carbs. So I think it's a plus for us, and it relates how, okay, I know you've heard of this, and I've even had clients on keto that can't do it. And, they come to Optavia and they're really successful and they're worried about the increase in carbohydrate. And I say, well, the truth of the matter is you weren't really doing keto to begin with because you couldn't stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's okay. You'll be okay. And they're successful and they're loving it. So I think it's good to explain it.
Yeah.
So I was just going to offer at the other end of that spectrum too, is that if somebody's got a lot of questions, I'll just, when I talk about fat burn, I'll say, you may not know it, but any kind of a quote diet that you design yourself or get from a book, if you lose 40 pounds, 10 is going to be muscle. That's the way the body feeds on itself when you lose weight. I said, with this way, you only lose the fat. You don't lose any muscle. And I use the scenario of if I lost 40 pounds, but then if I gained it back, I'm worse off than had I never done it. So it sort of sounds like getting into the weeds, but there are people that start questioning the science a little bit. So these are all great ways to, I think, reassure people or clarify what their perception might have been. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, just to remember, like we do want to keep it simple. It seems like this is not keeping it simple by explaining fat burn, but I think it's so important for them to just understand that concept because then, then they might think, well, I'm going to just have a banana today. I mean, that's fine. A banana is healthy. That it's a fruit, but I want them to know a banana is a healthy food, but it's 30 grams of carb. And in this plan, because we're working with the mild ketosis and fat burn, we don't want to be eating extra carbs from healthy things or unhealthy things. It's going to pull you out of fat burn, and this is working on that magic of fat burn. So I do think it's really important for them to understand that in the beginning, because then I can say, so you're going to really want to stop, challenge, and choose when you come upon the opportunity to eat something that's off plan, because you feel so good when you're in fat burn, and is it worth eating that banana or that cookie or whatever it might be that has the extra carbs to pull you out of fat burn. But we're not here to tell them what to do, right? We are here to guide, to support, and we're not here to lecture people. We're not here to make them feel bad if they do go off plan, because the last thing someone wants is us to be their mama or their, or yelling at them, or that they feel bad, that they don't want to talk to us because we're judgmental. We have to be so careful about coming off judgmental. We can say, okay, so you know that banana does have carbs, so you know, it can pull you out of fat burn. So, you know, you might not want to do that, you know, like whatever. You want to say it in a careful way where you're not coming off judgmental, but you are telling them what the program, how the program works. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time somebody kind of deviates from the plan, the first question that I always ask them is, how did you feel after you did that? And then they may tell you how they physically felt, because honestly, when people go off plan, if they go deep off plan, they're going to feel crummy physically. But then there's the emotional side of how did they feel when they went off plan, of like they didn't follow what they said they were going to do. And it leads into a really great conversation. And then they'll always come back often and say, oh, I'll never do that again, or I hope I don't do that again. I mean, I always hope that there's some kind of side effect to how they felt about it.
Well, where they
When
say
I
it
ask
wasn't
that
worth
question
it.
and they say, I feel fine. I'm like, oh, bummer.
But sometimes they just say, you know, it really wasn't worth it. I realized,
Yes.
you know, it was like 1 minute of pleasure, and it wasn't worth it. Next time I'm going to just not have it. Like,
Yeah.
Jane?
Yes, hi. I was just, as we were talking about when we go through the health assessments and exploring with our clients, I just wanted to add how, you know what they're really most excited about, I find, is that they have the support of a health coach and they have a community. And that's what we are. That's what we're here to help them with, you know? And I just recently had, I have a new client that is waiting for their stuff to arrive on Wednesday. And it was somebody who reached out on Facebook Messenger. Actually, the husband did. And he was sharing with the wife all the before and afters. So interestingly enough, I was able to have a call. And in the first part of the call, it was all about getting reacquainted, just catching up, nothing about the program. It was just being present and just being there as somebody that cared, and hearing where they were in their life. I hadn't even done the health assessment yet. And then finally I was just kind of waiting for her just to say, you know what, I'm really curious to know what you are doing and how you're helping so many people. And you know what, it happened. She asked the question, and it opened the door for the health assessment to begin. Even though this call was all about the health assessment, I just let her know that I was so happy to be re-engaged and seeing how she was as a person initially. And then the health assessment began. There was no, like, she was ready to go. She was excited to begin. Didn't even ask, you know, the cost. Didn't really need to know the name of the program. Even though I went through everything, there was no worries, because there was such a, there was that just caringness as a friend. There wasn't so many concerns, because she knew she would have the support of having a health coach. So that's,
Well,
I guess
Jane,
it's just a reminder to all of us, like, just to be there, to listen, and to see how people are in their life, and just be their friend.
and that's the fourth habit of transformational leadership. We connect authentically, we cultivate trust. And that is what makes this so special. When a client feels that trust and that connection, and that's what we are for them, we're that guide. We take their hand, we link arms with them, we walk the journey with them. And it's always a shock to clients that we really do care. So that's great. We awaken potential, we transform masterfully, right? We ask them those questions, we awaken their potential, and then we deliver extraordinary results. We serve to better mankind. I love our habits of transformational leadership, and you know, I think that's what we aspire to do, and that's what makes us so special. So that's great. Okay, so it's 9 o'clock. I just, you know, I don't want to keep us any longer. Just want to see if anyone else, you know what, do you guys have like maybe 3 more minutes?
Yes.
Okay, just real quick. I just want to go through, just because Anita's new, just to say like how long you've been coaching, and if you've lost weight with the program or any major changes that you've had, but really, really don't go into a whole story, just real quick. So Denise, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Sue Bergio is my coach, and she introduced me to Optavia. And so I was on a program. I lost 40 pounds in, I don't know, it was like 4 months, 3.5 months. And I knew pretty much right away that I wanted to become a coach. And, I got it, and have been coaching now for a little over a year, I guess it is. And, aside from being aboard my boat full time and all the challenges that that presents, I am bringing on clients, and it's really rewarding. It's when I see somebody's success, it just warms my heart. It really does. And
That's something you can do from your boat.
Yep. Yeah, it
Okay.
sure is. In fact, it's a funny story. I just signed on a new client, and she was referred to me from a friend of mine who's not on Optavia, but he believes in the program, and so encouraged her to contact me. And so I was telling her that we were in Florida, and she goes, "Oh, well, where are you in Florida?" I'm like, "Fort Pierce." And she said, "Well, I live in Vero Beach." I said, "I know, we're neighbors." It was just so funny. So we're probably going to wind up having coffee together or something. But
Well, what's nice is that your friend knows what you do and knows about the program, even though
Absolutely.
that friend is not on program and has referred someone to you. So it's really important to have your friends and your family understand. And that's why those initial health assessments with people, as a new coach, to do those health assessments with your mentor so that the people in your world know what it is that you do, so they can refer people even if they're not on program themselves.
Sure. And also, putting private birthday messages. I just had a lengthy conversation with someone that I haven't not really spoken to in quite a while. And, after we got through all the conversation about how she was doing, she said, "I've been following you, and I think I'm interested. I was thinking about gastric bypass." And I'm like, "Oh, stop. Before you even think about that, let's talk." And
that's another plus for Facebook.
Social.
Yep, social media, branding yourself as a health coach,
Mhm.
and people will be watching. So,
Sure.
we're going to kind of just keep this to another couple of minutes. So just like Nora, you lost weight?
I lost 20 pounds on plan, but I didn't get started on the plan necessarily to lose weight. I'm also a personal trainer, and I was looking for ways to help more of my clients and to get some more financial time and freedom, or financial freedom and time freedom. So losing 20 pounds to me was a bonus. I lost 10 on program, 5 in transition, and 5 in optimization. So and I've been able to keep it off. I began my coach in May. In May it will be 4 years. So
4 years. Excellent.
yeah.
Great. And Susan, just brief.
Okay. Lost 38 pounds with Janet as my coach. I've been coaching. It'll be 2 years in July. Was able to build a nice business so far, and it's great. It's what I do every day of the week. I'm having a great time.
And Claire, brief.
I started at the end of the summer, and I lost 30 pounds, and it's just been enjoyable trying to help other people.
Paying
I'm on
it
the
forward.
side.
Helping you stay accountable to your own health too, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. And Matt, you want to unmute?
So I came on to gain financial health, but I lost 15 to 20 pounds in about 30 days and reduced inflammation, amazing brain health, gut health, energy throughout the day. It's been the best thing I've done for my physical health, and now it's turned out to be one of the best things I've done for my financial, mental, personal growth and development. And, besides marrying my wife and having kids, it's one of the best things I've done in my life. So.
Thanks, Matt. And Jane? You're on, trying to unmute you. You're muted. Okay. All right. Well,
I got it.
Okay, real quick, and then we're going to end because I feel like
Alright.
I'm keeping everybody long.
So I got into Optavia because I was looking for a career in something to find my purpose and passion and helping others. And I really didn't have much of a weight loss story, but I definitely wanted to help others with, their health and be compassionate in finding a new job. And I found the best job I could ever have. So
And you
I love
lost
being a
weight, though,
coach.
didn't you? You did lose weight, though, didn't you?
I did. I lost about 7 pounds.
So
I
it
didn't
wasn't
have much
about weight
weight.
loss for you.
It wasn't about weight loss for
Yep.
me.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
It
that
was about
good.
changing my habits.
Yep. Great. So I just wanted to share that for you, Anita, because
Thanks. It was very inspiring. Everybody's story really was.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Great. All right. Well, look, I'm glad that we all got together. I do want to say that Nora and I are going to both be leaving on the cruise, the Optavia cruise Saturday, so we won't be around for a week. I'm not going to be around for 2 weeks because I'm going to Costa Rica from the cruise. So, use the Janet's team page if you have, questions. All you guys are amazing. You don't need me. What else? Just stay vigilant with the phone line thing. It's getting better. I'm sure next week it'll be even better, and before we know it, it'll be a past memory. So hang in there with that. You guys are all doing an amazing job, and I appreciate what everybody does. Let's just keep doing the do, and we'll get together again when I get back.
Have a great trip.
Great time.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Great time.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Have
Take
fun.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.